so where are we?
We are in Nausa in Paros. We've been here for coming up to just over 2 weeks.
Yeah. There is a ship coming in, and out of nowhere some ferry has pulled up into this tiny little marina just off to the side there. What have we done?
So we've had probably the best thing I think we did was get a scooter.
Oh yeah?
And it allowed us to explore a lot of the island, really allowed us to take it wherever, or take our adventures wherever we wanted. Highlight for me has got to be going to Antiparos.
Yeah.
That stands out. Antiparos is about a 10-minute ferry ride from one of the ports.
Yeah. You catch a 10-minute ferry. I'm going to try and get some footage of... You see it there? It's just out of nowhere, it just rocked up. I digress. Yeah, so it's a 10-minute ferry ride, and then we go across to Antiparos, which is another island.
Beautiful little island, much smaller than Paros, but for me doesn't lack anything.
I liked it better.
Yeah.
I would stay there and visit here.
Not lacking any atmosphere. It's got a main strip, there's taverns, restaurants, cute shopping, always important. Beautiful beaches, quieter. There's still a couple of nice beach clubs if that's what you're into. We tried one. Yeah, I loved Antiparos. I would definitely stay there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a beautiful island and a bit more of an authentic vibe, so to speak. We went to Golimbithres, which is one of the most popular, if not the most popular beach in Paros, and you can get to it from most places, definitely from Barikia and Nausa. We caught a little ferry, and ordinarily it would be a beautiful beach, bright turquoise waters, organised beach club, all the things that you might want. Umbrellas, lounges for rent, usually somewhere where you can order something to eat and drink. It's stuffed.
Yeah.
If you get there early enough, there's probably plenty of spots to lay down a towel.
There are.
But it does get really quite busy. But you've got the option. You can lay on, we saw lots of people with towels out on rocks and just jumping in. So you don't have to pay for the beach setup, but it's kind of nice to have it.
I just don't understand how people go to the beach and sit there for 7, 8, 9 hours at a time in the sun without any shade. It's ridiculous. I've been posting a lot about... Actually, I've been posting mostly food. I got an Instagram message yesterday and I was informed that I'm posting more about food than I am about the places we're at.
That seems to follow our pattern. I feel like every time we travel, what we end up talking about most is the food that we had and where it was. So that's how we link places and memories. It's by the food that we've had and the restaurants we've been to.
And the wine.
I have personally loved the food in Greece. There's so much variety. For some context, when we're in Melbourne, we will rarely go and eat anything at a Greek restaurant. We just had someone wave at us. They're friendly locals. We'll rarely go out for Greek food. Maybe it's because we've got access to some good Greek cooking at home, but I have just loved the food here. You can really get anything. You can have a cheap meal for about €3 for a gyro. We've found lots of vegan options, especially the things that are cooked. So in a lot of places in Greece, a lot of the taverns, the traditional taverns, or just any taverns really in any of the main little towns, they'll have a sort of a la carte type menu for things that are cooked on the spot. But then there's also meals that are cooked that may or may not be on the menu that they might just tell you about or are part of their set menu. And it's basically big trays of a delicious meal. Like it might be a moussaka, it might be
stuffed vegetables,
and a lot of those dishes tend to be vegetarian.
Oh, you know what I wanted to talk about? Do you know how we came to Paros Island from after having spent 2.5 weeks on the mainland in Kalamata? In Kalamata, everything is cheap as chips. You're actually spoilt there quite a bit for variety and for cost. We actually saved money and made up for a lot of the spending we did in Paris while we were in Kalamata. So when we got to Paros, it was a bit of a culture shock that the food and the drinks were so expensive initially. But after a couple of days, we started discovering the small little taverns, and I wanted to sort of touch on that. What would you tell someone if they asked you, how did you manage to eat out every day for 2 and a bit weeks that you've been on an island? How did you manage to justify the cost?
I think cost is relative. There's places that are quite pricey. So anything that's around
just behind us, really.
And Nalsa, it's probably worth mentioning, is, I suppose, known as a bit of the nicer side, so to speak, the pricier side. It's got the popular bars and clubs and restaurants.
All the Instagram photos you'll ever see about Paros will most
of them
likely
will be Nalsa.
Yeah.
There's so many options that are just off the main square, and we found a few cute little taverns. Each do their own thing, as in one's more tailored towards meats. One might have a mix, but yeah, we've definitely found a few favourites. But there's even bakeries, great bakeries, where you can get anything from omelettes to waffles to pancakes to cooked foods, and they're all really affordable.
So it's actually interesting that we would talk about this, because I just noticed, as Jennifer was referring to certain areas of the island, I guess there's a picture that's painted that you have to go into the alleyways and back streets to get these cheap foods. So over our right shoulder is the part of Nalsa that is popular and expensive, where you'd find bars like Barbarossa, which is everywhere here. And over our left shoulder are some of the other restaurants that we're talking about. So we're not talking about chalk and cheese. We're not talking about missing out on sitting beachside,
or seeing a view of the marina, or having to trek to the outskirts of Nalsa. It's all in the same patch. Yeah.
Well, we've been talking about Paros a lot, understandably, and food. But what's the reason why we've decided to do a video, other than the fact that I'm sick of talking on all the videos that I put on YouTube?
I don't know, what is the fact?
Well, the reason is that we're just under 2 months in to our significantly long journey. We've been living out of suitcases now for those 2 months. Actually, it's been longer than 2 months, because before we left Australia, we had to pack up our apartment to rent it out. So before we actually left the country, we were effectively homeless for about a week and a bit. We were sleeping on the floor of our empty apartment.
Yes.
And then we moved into a hotel room at the casino in Melbourne, and then we left town. So we've been at it for just over 2 months now.
Yep, 2 months.
How have you found living out of a suitcase?
Shockingly, quite easy.
I was actually thinking of doing a short video on packing, because I certainly would have found it handy. I know that before we left, I was watching YouTube videos on how to effectively manage overpacking.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I still, even though I think I was pretty economical with my packing, I think I came in at 24 kilos. I think that's economical. Some might think that's really excessive. We're here for 6 months, so I thought it was okay. But I still find that there's things that I brought along that I'm not wearing. So no, but living out of a suitcase for me has been actually surprisingly, shockingly easy. I don't know, you realise how little stuff you need to actually just get by.
And how important an iron is.
Oh, an iron. No, you're
my
okay.
shirts. Yeah, it's got
Mine don't. I'm wearing linen, it doesn't need ironing too much. But yeah, iron has been really important, and I think in future I would probably bring, on past trips I've brought my little portable steamer.
Yep.
And I didn't want to bring it this trip because it took up too much room. Packing a portable steamer, because it's just so much more convenient.
I think they actually sell travel steamers now.
They do, but they range in quality, but yeah.
They're shit.
No, some are okay, some are shit.
For me, washing machine.
Washing machine, yeah.
Yeah.
There's the boat again, probably mocking us with these tourists filming.
When we're driving through Tuscany, we'd stop at some tiny little cafe and have the best meal you've ever had in your life, and you'd ask for some table wine, and their table wine is obviously Chianti or something local, and it tastes better than any wine you've ever had, and it's just their local table wine, and it costs like €3 for... How much did we pay at that place near the Agroturismo that we stayed at? That place that I liked.
I think it was €3 for half a litre of wine.
And it was spectacular.
It was beautiful.
I was devastated that I was driving. Anyway, that's another video. We're by no means connoisseurs. We just know what we like to get drunk on, and we drink it a lot.
But
actually,
yeah,
what did we do last
dinner.
night? 1.5 litres of white wine with our dinner, and we could have kept going.
In half-litre intervals,
Yeah.
so we didn't look...
Yeah, it didn't feel like a litre and a half.
No. And it was over a few hours, and that's the other thing, you're eating over a few hours. It's not a quick meal that you're rushing in and out.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, the benefit of being on holiday. You've got time to do that.
Feels like a litre and a half right now.
I feel alright.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh. Anyway, what else?
Don't know. Do we take a little break?
Yeah. Now, so we're well and truly into the trip. We're about to go off in separate directions tomorrow, with you going to another Greek island and me, I am going to Switzerland, but they're going to be videos, down the track. So other than that, we're just going to creative cut back in time to the awesome video that
he lost.
That I lost.